Have you ever woken up in the morning, feeling pretty good? Maybe reaching for a healthy bowl of fruit to start your day. You're trying to do the right thing for your body, making choices that feel light and refreshing. But what if I told you that some of those seemingly innocent breakfast fruits, the ones you think are doing you good, might actually be contributing to a problem many men over 60 face? A problem that can feel deeply frustrating and impact your confidence. It's a sensitive topic, I know, but it's one we need to talk about openly. Many men reach this age and start noticing changes in their bodies, including challenges with maintaining firm erections. It's a painful reality that can lead to worry and avoidance. You might wonder what's going wrong, trying different things, maybe even blaming age alone, but there's often more to it than just getting older. Sometimes, the secret lies in the very things we consume daily, even healthy-sounding foods like certain fruits, particularly when we eat them at the start of the day. In this video, we're going to look closely at 7 specific fruits that you might want to avoid eating for breakfast if you're over 60, and we'll explore exactly why they could be working against your erectile health. It's not about giving up fruit entirely, not at all, but about making smarter choices for that crucial first meal of the day. Stick around until the very end, because I've got something to share that might truly surprise you and offer a different perspective. Let's dive right into it and talk about the first fruit that often makes its way onto breakfast plates, especially for those trying to eat healthier: the humble banana. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bananas are packed with potassium. They're convenient. They give you energy. And yes, they do have wonderful nutritional qualities. But when we're talking specifically about men over 60 and the morning meal, particularly on an empty stomach, bananas, especially those that are quite ripe, come with a significant amount of natural sugar. When you eat a food high in sugar, even natural sugar, your body quickly breaks it down into glucose, which then enters your bloodstream. This causes your blood sugar levels to rise for someone younger and very active. The body is usually quite efficient at managing this spike. Insulin is released, and the sugar is quickly taken up by cells for energy or stored. However, as we get older, our bodies, particularly our pancreas and our cells' sensitivity to insulin, don't always work as efficiently as they used to. This means that a rapid influx of sugar from something like a ripe banana for breakfast can cause a more significant and prolonged blood sugar spike. Why is this a problem for erectile health? Well, persistent or frequent high blood sugar levels are damaging to your blood vessels. Think of it like constantly putting stress on the delicate network of tubes that carry blood throughout your body. Over time, this damage can lead to atherosclerosis, a condition where plaque builds up in your arteries, making them narrower and less flexible. And guess what is absolutely essential for a firm erection? Healthy, flexible blood vessels that can efficiently carry blood into the penis. If those vessels are stiffened or narrowed by high blood sugar damage, it makes achieving and maintaining an erection much harder. Eating a banana on an empty stomach for breakfast can kickstart your day with this blood sugar challenge, setting a pattern that, over years, can contribute to vascular problems. It's not just the banana itself, but the context: breakfast, often on an empty stomach, for a body that handles sugar differently after 60. Moving on. Let's talk about something even more common at the breakfast table, often seen as the epitome of a healthy start: orange juice. Many of us grew up thinking a glass of OJ was the perfect way to get our vitamin C boost in the morning. And while oranges themselves are nutritious, turning them into juice fundamentally changes how your body processes the sugars they contain. When you juice an orange, you remove most of the fiber. Fiber is incredibly important because it slows down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream. Without that fiber buffer, the natural sugars in what might have been several oranges packed into one glass hit your system very, very quickly. This causes an even faster and higher blood sugar spike than eating the whole fruit. Imagine the difference between eating an apple slice by slice, chewing it thoroughly, and drinking a glass of apple juice in a few gulps. The sugar from the juice is available to your body much faster. This rapid spike and subsequent crash in blood sugar levels can be disruptive. Chronically high blood sugar, as we just discussed with bananas, directly harms blood vessels, including the small, vital ones in the penis. Furthermore, these sugar spikes contribute to inflammation in the body. Chronic low-grade inflammation is another major culprit in damaging blood vessels and affecting overall circulatory health. Poor circulation is a primary reason for erectile difficulties as men age. So, starting your day with a concentrated dose of sugar from orange juice, even 100% natural juice, can be a daily assault on your vascular system, making it harder for the blood flow needed for an erection. While having a small glass occasionally might not be a disaster, making it a daily breakfast habit, especially on its own, could be subtly but surely contributing to the very issues you want to avoid. Now, let's consider a truly delicious tropical treat that's often enjoyed in the morning: mango. Mangoes are sweet, flavorful, and packed with vitamins. They feel like a burst of sunshine. However, like bananas, and perhaps even more so, depending on the variety and ripeness, mangoes are very high in natural sugars. A single mango can contain a significant amount of sugar, comparable to or even exceeding a can of soda in some cases. Depending on size, eating this much sugar for breakfast, especially without significant protein or healthy fats to balance it out and slow digestion, leads to a substantial rise in blood sugar. The glycemic index of mango is moderate to high, meaning it can cause a noticeable spike. Again, the issue isn't the mango itself in isolation, but the context of eating a large portion of it for breakfast, particularly for men over 60 whose bodies may struggle to handle such a sugar load efficiently. This repeated morning sugar spike pattern contributes to insulin resistance over time, where your cells become less responsive to insulin. Insulin resistance is a stepping stone towards type 2 diabetes, a condition notoriously linked to severe erectile dysfunction due to widespread blood vessel and nerve damage. Even without full-blown diabetes, prediabetes and insulin resistance significantly impair circulatory function. Starting your day with a high-sugar fruit like mango can exacerbate this process, silently contributing to the underlying vascular issues that make erections difficult later in the day or week. It's a subtle connection, perhaps, but consistent daily habits build up over time. And a high-sugar breakfast is one such habit that can have long-term consequences for circulatory health and, by extension, erectile function. So, while a mango can be a wonderful snack or dessert, rethinking it as your primary breakfast item, especially on an empty stomach, might be a wise adjustment to protect your vascular health. Continuing our look at common breakfast fruits that might warrant a second thought, let's turn our attention to another tropical favorite: pineapple. Pineapple is wonderfully sweet, tangy, and contains enzymes like bromelain, often lauded for digestive benefits. It feels refreshing, particularly on a warm morning. However, just like mangoes, pineapple is quite high in natural sugars. Eating a generous serving of pineapple for breakfast can lead to a noticeable surge in blood sugar levels. While bromelain has some interesting properties, the predominant effect of eating a large amount of pineapple on an empty stomach is that sugar load hitting your system rapidly. The glycemic index of pineapple is moderately high, contributing to those undesirable blood sugar spikes we've been discussing. Remember, these repeated spikes and the subsequent elevated blood sugar levels are detrimental to the delicate lining of your blood vessels over time. This damage contributes to hardening and narrowing of the arteries, atherosclerosis, which is a major underlying cause of erectile dysfunction. Healthy blood flow is non-negotiable for achieving and maintaining an erection, and anything that compromises vascular health, like consistent high blood sugar levels, is a concern. Furthermore, some people find that the enzymes in pineapple, particularly when eaten on an empty stomach, can cause some mild digestive discomfort or irritation. While this might seem unrelated, chronic irritation or inflammation in the gut can contribute to systemic inflammation in the body, which further exacerbates vascular damage. So, while a slice or two of pineapple as part of a balanced meal is likely fine, making it a main component of your breakfast, day after day, especially for men over 60 who are already at higher risk for metabolic and vascular issues, is something to consider reducing. It's about being mindful of the sugar impact right at the start of your day. Next on our list, let's talk about a category of fruits that are perhaps the most concentrated source of sugar available: dried fruits. We're talking about raisins, dates, dried apricots, dried cranberries, and so on. These are often added to cereals, yogurts, or eaten straight as a quick snack. The problem here is the removal of water. When water is removed from fruit, all the sugars are concentrated into a much smaller, denser package. A handful of raisins might contain the sugar equivalent of several bunches of grapes, but you eat them in seconds. This makes dried fruit extremely high in sugar by weight and very quick to digest and absorb, leading to a rapid and significant blood sugar spike. For someone over 60, starting the day with a handful of dried fruit mixed into their breakfast is essentially hitting their bloodstream with a potent sugar shot right away. This is perhaps one of the most impactful ways to cause a rapid and high blood sugar increase at breakfast. As we've emphasized, these spikes contribute directly to the damage and inflammation of blood vessels, which is a primary driver of erectile problems. The convenience and seemingly healthy nature of dried fruit can be deceiving. While they do retain some nutrients and fiber, the overwhelming effect at breakfast time is that massive sugar load. Think about it. You'd likely never eat 10 apricots in one sitting, but it's easy to consume the dried equivalent. This concentrated sugar impact is precisely what we want to avoid when aiming for stable blood sugar and healthy circulation to support erectile function as we age. So, while a very small amount of dried fruit occasionally might be okay within a balanced meal, relying on it regularly for breakfast is one of the least helpful things you could do for your vascular health and, consequently, for your erections. It's a classic example of something perceived as healthy actually having a detrimental effect in a specific context and quantity. Let's move on to another fruit that's commonly eaten in the morning, often found in fruit salads or simply grabbed by the bunch: grapes. Grapes are sweet, juicy, and easy to eat, almost too easy. The issue with grapes for breakfast, particularly for men over 60, lies in their sugar content and how quickly you can consume a significant amount. While they contain water and some fiber, especially the skins, they are quite high in natural sugars, mainly glucose and fructose. Eating a large bunch of grapes relatively quickly delivers a considerable sugar load to your system in a short period. This can lead to a more rapid and higher blood sugar spike compared to fruits with less sugar or more fiber. Again, it comes back to that critical point. Chronic exposure to high blood sugar levels damages your blood vessels. The small arteries that supply blood to the penis are particularly vulnerable to this kind of damage. If these vessels become compromised, it becomes harder for sufficient blood flow to enter the penis, making erections less firm or impossible. Starting your day with a significant quantity of grapes can initiate this daily cycle of blood sugar elevation, contributing to the long-term vascular issues that underpin erectile dysfunction in older men. It's not that grapes are inherently bad, but the combination of their sugar content, ease of overconsumption, and being eaten for breakfast on potentially an empty stomach makes them a fruit to approach with caution in this specific context. Choosing fruits with lower sugar content or ensuring grapes are eaten as part of a larger meal with protein and healthy fats to slow down sugar absorption would be better strategies. But as a standalone breakfast fruit, especially in quantity, grapes might be silently working against your efforts to maintain healthy circulation. Finally, let's address something that seems convenient and healthy but can be a real trap: fruit smoothies, especially those bought pre-made or from juice bars. While homemade smoothies can be healthy if made correctly with whole fruits, vegetables, protein, and healthy fats, many commercially prepared smoothies, and even some homemade ones, are essentially sugar bombs disguised as health food. They often contain large quantities of high-sugar fruits, sometimes added sweeteners like syrups or honey, and often lack sufficient protein. fiber, or healthy fats to balance the sugar load. The blending process also breaks down the fruit's structure, making the sugars even more rapidly available for absorption than in whole fruit or even juice. Drinking a large, high-sugar fruit smoothie for breakfast is one of the most effective ways to cause a massive blood sugar spike. Your body receives a huge influx of liquid sugar calories very quickly, without the usual work of digestion required for solid food. This rapid and significant increase in blood sugar puts immediate stress on your system and contributes directly to the long-term vascular damage we've discussed throughout this video. For men over 60, this can be particularly problematic, accelerating the development of atherosclerosis and impairing the circulatory function necessary for erections. Even smoothies made with healthy ingredients like acai or other berries can be problematic if they rely heavily on added fruit juices, sweeteners, or large quantities of high-sugar fruits. The sheer volume of fruit and potential added sugars consumed in a typical large smoothie makes it a very different prospect than eating a single piece of fruit. So, while a carefully constructed homemade smoothie as part of a balanced breakfast might be okay, relying on typical fruit-heavy or store-bought smoothies for your morning meal is likely contributing to the very health issues that can negatively impact your erectile health. It's a concentrated dose of sugar that your body, especially as you age, might struggle to handle effectively first thing in the morning. So, we've looked at 7 specific fruits and fruit products: bananas, orange juice, mango, pineapple, dried fruits, grapes, and many fruit smoothies, and why eating them for breakfast, particularly for men over 60, might not be the best choice for maintaining healthy blood flow and supporting erectile function. The common thread here isn't that these fruits are bad foods in themselves, but rather the context of eating them for breakfast, often on an empty stomach, and their potential to cause rapid and significant blood sugar spikes. We've seen how repeated exposure to high blood sugar damages your blood vessels over time, contributing to atherosclerosis and impaired circulation, which is a major factor in erectile difficulties as you age. It's not about giving up fruit entirely. Fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are essential for health. But it's about being strategic with your choices, especially for that first meal of the day. Think about balancing your breakfast plate. Instead of just a bowl of high-sugar fruit or a glass of juice, pair lower-sugar fruits like berries, avocados, or a small apple with protein sources like eggs, Greek yogurt, or nuts, and healthy fats like avocado or seeds. This combination significantly slows down sugar absorption, prevents those sharp spikes, and provides sustained energy without putting undue stress on your vascular system. Remember, small, consistent changes in your daily habits can have a profound impact on your long-term health and vitality. It's not about perfection, but about progress and making informed choices that support your body as it ages. Taking care of your blood vessels benefits your heart, your brain, and yes, your erectile function too. It's all connected. Don't feel discouraged. Feel empowered knowing you have the information to make changes that can make a real difference. You're not alone in facing these challenges, and simple adjustments can yield surprising benefits. Now, I hope this conversation has been helpful, perhaps shedding some light on why certain breakfast choices might be contributing to issues you're experiencing. It's about understanding the connection between what you eat, your blood sugar, your vascular health, and overall well-being. If this information resonated with you, or if you found some insights here, please consider leaving a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your experiences, or any questions you might have. Sharing helps everyone learn and feel less alone. And if you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up. That tells me this is the kind of content you'd like to see more of. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos packed with practical tips and information to help you live your healthiest, happiest life after 60. Remember, aging is just another chapter, and with the right knowledge and habits, you can ensure it's a vibrant and fulfilling one. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making choices that honor your body and your health. You deserve to live your best life at every age.